Hey y'all, it's Kim. So I'm sure y'all have seen this stuff, but this kind of goes into the whole lefties losing it thing. But I mean, have y'all seen this? I mean, it's so ridiculous. Let me see if I can get the volume turned up. It's like a line dancing, but they're protesting at a Tesla dealership. Oh my gosh. Oh, what in the world? What is going on? It says, oh my gosh. Okay. So I can't with that. I mean, that's the first thing I thought about is the line dancing. But then I found some videos of the Hitler Youth actually dancing. So I don't know. I mean, it says unused, unissued material, no paperwork, dates unclear and unknown in Germany. A march of young girls, members of Nazi youth. I don't want to watch that whole thing, but anyway, I heard somebody say something about some Nazis dancing, and I couldn't really find anything. But let's look at this other thing. So this says, this is from Tim Runs His Mouth. It says, the white liberal woman yelling at you as you drive by in your Tesla. I mean, do they not have jobs? I mean, seriously, I know these people are probably paid protesters, but I'm just thinking, do you have nothing better to do than to go protest outside the Tesla dealership? And then why are you going to be mad? I mean, seriously, hold on. There was something else I was going to look at. Oh, I want to look at a few of the comments. It says the left sure has a fascination with Nazi symbols like the swastikas, theater puppets of Democrats. They don't live in reality. What a joke of a clown shit show. The leftists sure love their swastika. The electric clowns. Oh my gosh. And then wild how clueless these people are. And just 6 months ago, they demanded we all buy one. Make up your mind. So wishy washy left this. And do they have jobs? What are they mad about? Elon uncovering fraud and corruption. I mean, so you're mad at him, like I said yesterday, versus being mad at the people that are actually committing the fraud and misusing your taxpayers. That because Congress is the one that holds the purse strings. So why are you not mad at the members of Congress that approved all this stuff going out the door? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And then let's look at this one. This is the last one. It says a brave climate activist saves the world by spray painting a building. I mean, let's listen to this moron. But I mean, you're putting those whatever CFCs out into the atmosphere, so you're really helping.
Nonviolent civil resistance campaigns tackling the climate crisis and demanding a climate disaster protection agency. Our government is failing to protect ordinary people. Our government would rather protect the interests of billionaires and large companies like Tesla rather than ordinary people. Our government is breaking social contracts. Recently, the Trump administration has criticized actions like these. All it does is that repression means nothing. It means that they're afraid. It means that civil resistance works. In turn, civil resistance is now. Pink paint is nothing compared to the far right tyranny we're seeing and the climate disasters. Which is why I'm urging you to come take action with us this spring as we disrupt businesses. Business is killing us.
Okay, so spraying stuff in the atmosphere is not killing you, and aren't they the ones that wanted the EV mandates? I mean, the leftists have lost it, which leads us into, of course, Miss Rita and lefties losing it. Oh my gosh, these people are so crazy. Let me see if I can get this open to full screen. Let me get this out of here. I'll make myself smaller. And
Our
here we
time
go.
for Lefties losing it. Now, I presume this next item was an April Fool's Day joke, but apparently it's real. Kamala Harris is set to be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to headline a real estate conference in Australia on the Gold Coast. And wowie, won't those land rats love hearing an inspirational speech from this fine orator.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Oh, sorry.
You know?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Really?
You know, when we talk about our children, I know for this group, we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community.
No
we
kidding.
all watched the television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not, doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Huh?
But just limited to what we have seen.
Oh gosh, I miss her. Now, you may have heard of the concept of FAFO, where you F around and find out. Well, this next dude found out all right. Here he is being confronted by the owner of the Tesla he vandalized, allegedly.
Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off.
No, no,
it's not.
no. It is a hate crime, sir. It is a hate crime. As soon, did you write a swastika on
I'm
this?
sorry you're upset.
Did you write a swastika?
I'm sorry
It
you're
didn't even
upset.
work.
I'm sorry you're upset.
Yeah.
It didn't even work. Really, these lefties are vile. Let's go back to that interaction and see if this guy understands that the FAFO equation is real. The more you F around, the more you're going to find out.
It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because they're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down.
I said
The
I'm
internet
sorry,
sleuths?
For what?
and I
For what?
apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against
For
your
what?
car, and I have nothing against you.
So why
Okay.
would you write a swastika on the Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the
So
way
Elon
to
Musk
show my.
owns that car because
No,
it was
he
bought
owns
and
the
paid
company.
for. It was bought and paid for a long time
That's
ago.
why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right.
Oh, he didn't mean to do
Oh.
it. He doesn't like Elon Musk. He's since been charged with a number of offences, including criminal mischief and harassment. Now, this mindless vandalism from the left is nothing new, nor are attacks against cars. They've been doing it for years. It just wasn't directed exclusively to Teslas in the past. Here is an oldie but a goodie. A lefty caught keying a vehicle because it had a pro-Trump sticker. I think he's more scared of the wife than the cops. Imagine being married to this aging soy boy.
The green Toyota Tundra pickup truck that you walked up to. You don't remember what you did? What did you do to it?
I scratched it.
Why? Was it the bumper sticker? And she's got a sticker that says, "Let's go Brandon" or something.
Yeah, I guess it infuriated me.
That's the only reason you did it? You don't know who owns the truck or anything?
Yeah, that's the only reason I did it.
Was it a key?
It was my key fob. Yeah.
Do you know which key you used?
No, I have no idea.
I'm guessing you know it's expensive to repaint a truck.
I'm gonna have to repaint the truck.
Did you?
Isn't that larceny or grand larceny?
Yeah, that would be much of.
And you should.
Yeah.
But
I made a stupid mistake.
Miss Brothers, here's the unfortunate news. She wants to press charges, so I have to take you to jail, sir. So she's around. When you damage someone's property over $1,000, it's a felony. For a felony criminal mischief.
That's a felony?
It's about
Yes.
$6,000 to repaint the truck. He has to go to jail, and tomorrow morning we'll have first appearance in front of a judge.
Stupid.
Wow.
And I regret to inform you that the awfuls are at it again. Awfuls, that stands for affluent white female lefties.
It's time to speak up.
Oh, Lord.
They're rolling back segregation. They are rolling back segregation. To be clear, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is still in place and has not been disbanded. But we know what their goal is. There is always step one in a process, and we absolutely know what their goal is.
She must think if you repeat something, it makes it true. Let's hear from this white savior and her fever dreams about Trump
What
bringing
white
back
savior?
segregation like he's some sort of Democrat.
This time, white people, we are the ones that are going to be on the front crossing that
Okay,
bridge.
go
Do you hear
ahead.
me?
You get to the front.
We are the ones that are going to stand
We'll be way
in
back.
the streets.
We're
Our
good.
Black countrymen have done their time at the front
The
of the
white
line. And it is
savior.
our turn.
Yes.
It is our turn to face the water hoses and to face the dogs
Okay,
and to face
you
the
do
tear
that
gas.
if that's
Because
what you
we have
want.
let this happen.
We let this happen? Yeah,
Not on
my
my
watch.
watch.
Not on her watch, folks. Imagine being so unhinged with fantasies about the return of segregation. Do these people have jobs? By the way, that video has had millions of views, gone viral on TikTok and elsewhere. Perhaps this next lady saw this video because she seems rather animated and thinks she's going to encounter white-only signs across America.
Let me walk into a business and see a whites-only sign. I'm white. I'm about as white as they get. Look at how pale I am, ma'am. And I will use every ounce of that white privilege I've got to absolutely up their day.
This next woman is perfectly okay with property being destroyed.
Destruction of property is a perfectly viable source of protest. No harming humans, obviously. Human life is sacred no matter whose it is. But property these are just things. These are just cars.
They're just cars. I wonder if she'd call
somebody
the
else
cops
paid
if I
for?
destroyed her Subaru.
We have jobs.
And bad news, white men, these authors will not date you. I just hope you can cope with the devastation and pick up the shattered pieces of your life.
Friendly reminder, as a white American woman, I will no longer be dating white men.
Hold on. Let me see if I can go over here to Instagram. I'm gonna see if it'll let me open it back up. I want to see the white woman. Oh my gosh, I wanted to show y'all the comments on this one. This is so stupid. Hold on. Oh, Democrats in the 20th century and Democrats in the 21st century. Okay, let me go to my little page here. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I just don't understand. Hold on, it's taking a minute. Wants to be slow. Okay. Oh, wrong. Okay. So these are all mine. I'm trying to find the actual liked stuff. Where's my activity? Am I not seeing it? Sorry, I know it's giving me a problem here. Notifications. Oh, more. I can't see some of the stuff because these bars are in the way. Okay, so your activity. So, let's see. Comments, likes. Okay. So, where's this lady at with the crazy? I've been on here this morning. Oh, here. So, here's this video. I don't know where she originally posted it, but let's see if it'll open. I mean, I just want to read some of the comments because I'm like, really? It says, hear that, fellas? Keep your hands to yourself. Carol is not interested. And then let me see. Where's the comments? What happened to them? For some reason, it's not showing me the comments on this one. Oh, here you go. It says, this is what I put. I'm sorry. I know that's tacky. It says, her dating has the world gone mad. And then let's see. Clearly, you are quite a prize. Don't miss out, guys, but not you white ones. And then it says the last time she had a guy was when Lincoln was still alive. Oh, sucks. What will we do? Only a desperate white man will want her. And then it says Palestine is nice this time of year, I heard. And then that battery cells just went up. And then, ain't that a dude? Ooh, that's pretty bad. Okay. I've got a female llama looking to breed. And then, yeah. I mean, she's pretty much getting roasted here. I'm sure over where she originally posted it on the echo chamber that is like TikTok or wherever this was at, she probably had so many women say, oh, I'm gonna do it too, you know, I'm gonna not be dating white men too and all that stuff. And as Bugs Bunny would say, shut up, who wants someone as stupid as you anyway? So she's getting roasted, to say the least. But it's just like, really? I mean, you're mad at Elon Musk or even Trump for trying to make things better for America?
What have you for anything other than
whatever you feel about the abortion issue, it's been sent back to the states. I am pro-life, so I'm not going to get into that whole can of worms, but I just don't understand. I don't really get this whole not dating white men. I don't understand that. I mean, whatever, do your thing, but that's pretty outlandish. Oh yeah, she was on TikTok. So I'm sure if you went over there, it'd be like, oh, you're a
white
hero.
man, okay? Just a heads up.
Yes, these women are just heroes in their own lunchtimes, and they are so divorced from reality that they have no idea how awful they appear to normal people.
Yes.
Listen to this story.
I found out today that somebody that I work with is a conservative, and he's somebody who's really intelligent, and he's somebody who works in climate tech. And a super smart guy, somebody I would never have thought was conservative, and apparently he is. And it's surprising, and it's disgusting. But what's most surprising to me is the level of sudden hatred.
Really? You're going to hate somebody that you once had respect for because they voted differently from you? You have nothing better to do in life than deal in politics. I know I get myself caught up in some of this stuff too, but you can't just write off an entire person just because they didn't vote like you. Yeah, I mean, I can't necessarily respect the fact that somebody wants to go out and abort babies and all that stuff. But if I have a rapport with them, they're my friend, we've had other things that we can say we have common ground on. I don't see why you're going to write that entire person off. I mean, I've got somebody like that already that I'm friends with. I don't agree with her politics. I mean, I can't really see from her perspective on certain things because I have my own perspective. But when it comes to other things, we can have a conversation about those things. Certain things you just have to like not talk about. That's why they say in work, don't talk about religion or politics. Yes, as a Christian, you are supposed to go out and evangelize and talk to people about the Bible, whatever else. But I mean, sometimes in a work environment, you're really not there to talk about all these things. Just do your job. I mean, if you build a rapport with somebody, you can slip them some things in, go have a conversation at lunch when you're off the clock or whatever. I mean, do your thing. But I mean, some of this you just don't even need to discuss because it's going to cause you problems. And then obviously mental problems if she's got this like unadulterated hatred for this guy. I mean, come on, find something else. Really, I just don't understand it.
That I have for him, sudden hatred for this man who I used to respect.
See,
suddenly
that's
just went
crazy.
And I hate him now.
Now to 60 Minutes and Leslie Stahl, who is rightly being criticised for this absurd question to American-Israeli man Keith Segal, who was kidnapped and starved by Hamas terrorists.
I saw sexual assault with female hostages.
Keith says things got worse for him after Aviva was released and that early ceasefire collapsed.
The terrorists became very mean and very cruel and violent.
More so.
Much more so. They were beating me and starving me.
Do you think they starved you or they just didn't have food?
No, I think they starved me, and they would often eat in front of me and not offer me food.
What in God's name was she thinking? Yes, the Hamas terrorists don't have food, Leslie. Do any of them look emaciated at their sick hostage handover rallies? Now, let's hear from the White House press secretary who is furnishing the hostile media with some unwelcome facts and figures about tariffs imposed by other nations on US products.
Look at the unfair trade practices that we have. 50% from the European Union on American dairy. You have a 700% tariff from Japan on American rice. You have a 100% tariff from India on American agricultural products. You have nearly a 300% tariff from Canada on American butter and American cheese. This makes it virtually impossible for American products to be imported into these markets. And it has put a lot of Americans out of business and out of work over the past several decades. So it's time for reciprocity.
Joining me now is journalist and author Batia Ungasar Gon. But here, Caroline Levitt there, giving the media some facts and figures. And there's polling today showing Americans think Donald Trump is too focused on tariffs and should be more focused on inflation. But the two issues are, of course, linked.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Rita. It's great to be here with you. These are definitely linked. The reason inflation hits working class people so hard is because they don't have enough money not to notice it, not to notice the increase in prices. And the way that you fix that is by getting them more money. And the way to get them more money is not by simply raising taxes on the rich and redistributing it and giving them handouts. They don't want that. It's by creating a marketplace in which the product of their labor is more expensive, and then their labor becomes more expensive, and then they get more money to take home. And of course, this is win-win for working class people. They make more money, and then they are more competitive as consumers in the marketplace. The people who don't like this are massive corporations, Wall Street, and other rich people who think they should be able to employ their neighbors for pennies on the dollar for the kinds of wages they would never dream of working for. So, this whole tariff product is designed to help struggling working class Americans. So, of course, rich people are going to be very angry about it. They're supposed to be. Trump is waging class warfare against the elites on behalf of the working class. The elites are supposed to be very angry. And that's what you're seeing in Wall Street and in the stock market. You are seeing rich elites who hate Donald Trump punishing him for standing up for the American working class.
And it's been interesting to see so many of the elites, so many of these left-leaning, very earnest types arguing for illegal immigration, essentially, because who else is going to do those jobs at those wages? And it's the sort of argument you could have put forward to defend slavery. And that point seems to be lost on them, that this is neither good for the people you're bringing in or enticing to come in illegally to work for these low wages, and it's certainly not good for the American working class, who are then also having to compete with illegal immigrants for those low-skilled jobs.
Yeah, remember Nancy Pelosi going out there and saying, but who will pick the crops? Or Jasmine Crockett, I know a favorite of yours, Rita, who a few weeks ago was giving a speech in which she said to the audience, nobody here wants their children to go into hospitality. I'm sorry, the majority of people who work in hospitality in America are American citizens by a wide margin. Why are you out there insulting people who do an honest job for a living, who work really hard, and you're out there sneering, telling an educated audience, well, you would rather die than see your child go into this industry? What kind of a message does that send to your fellow Americans? And it's so connected to other crises we see, the crisis in masculinity, because
and also that shows how out of touch Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Pelosi are. They think that that's all those people can do if they were to come here and do the legal process and everything else to get their citizenship. I mean, that's the only job they could get once they come over, and try to get a job. I mean, that's so stupid. I just don't understand it. But yeah, let's let her keep going. Elitism.
What we did was we shipped 5 million very good working class masculine macho manufacturing jobs overseas, and then we imported millions and millions of people into this country to work in janitorial service, landscaping, construction, jobs that rely on brawn, that used to be jobs that working class men could get a lot of dignity out of. And what message that sends them? This job is beneath the dignity of an American. Of course, men feel like they've been totally degraded in the marketplace, in the dating market, in society, in their families. It's really horrifying, and the downstream effects of this are enormous.
Now, we saw polls released earlier today also showing that most Americans, despite the media meltdown, are supportive of Donald Trump's deportation policy, with 58% backing that policy. And on the deportation front, there was this update again earlier today, complete with incredible footage. Let's have a look at this. It's like a motion picture, this stuff, but it's indeed real. It's 17 gangbangers, the worst of the worst here, murderers and child rapists, being transferred to El Salvador. But here, this policy, despite the media campaign, remains popular.
Absolutely. How could you not cheer that? How could you not cheer like the humiliation of child rapists? This is a great day in America. And that video is testimony to yet another world leader getting on his knees and begging Donald Trump for a scrap of approval. And it's so amazing, Rita, because you would think that Americans would love that. They would love to see world leaders getting on their knees and begging Donald Trump for a scrap of approval, because they know that he's going to put America first. But of course, as we know, the liberal elites hate this. They worship weakness. They loathe power and they loathe strength. So of course they're out there denouncing the proper treatment of gangbangers and child rapists. But we, Rita, we will rejoice.
Now, I mentioned 60 Minutes a little bit earlier, and this remarkable exchange.
The terrorists became very mean and very cruel and violent.
More so.
Much more so. They were beating me and starving me.
Do you think they starved you, or they just didn't have food?
No, I think they starved me.
On the same episode, we heard not just about the physical, but also the psychological torture inflicted on hostages. This is Yardan Bibas, whose wife and children were kidnapped and murdered.
They were murdered in cold blood, bare hands. They used to tell me, doesn't matter. You get a new wife, get a new kids, better wife, better kids.
They said that to you?
Yeah, many times. Many times.
It's hard to fathom just how depraved that all is, to tell a father whose children you've murdered, don't bother grieving them, you'll get better kids.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about Hamas, which is that, human life means nothing to them. They cannot imagine being attached enough to a wife or children. You would actually grieve them. The Leslie Stahl interview, the 60 Minutes interview, you noticed what she did there, right? She was carrying water for Hamas. She was saying to him, did they really starve you? Are you sure they didn't just run out of food because of the evil Israelis?
Yes.
I mean, can you imagine at this stage carrying water for Hamas? And the truth is that the liberal mainstream media just cannot quit Hamas. No matter what they do, there is some instinct in them that tries to rescue Hamas, carry water for them, and rescue their reputation. It is unfathomable how the leftist mainstream media are the stenographers of terrorists.
It is incredible that she would come up with that question and then keep it in the interview, because as we know, they record hours, so there was no reason to keep that exchange. But obviously, 60 Minutes, they thought that was a perfectly appropriate question to ask a man who's been tortured, starved, kept hostage for all those months. Or maybe your captors didn't have food. I mean, we've seen the Hamas captors at these disgusting handover ceremonies they have, and none of them are suffering from malnutrition. I would ask you about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's upset the left again, this time with a tattoo. Reportedly, it's a new tattoo. It's in Arabic, and it's a symbol of defiance. Do you know what the meaning behind this tattoo and why it's enraging the left so much?
So the tattoo says kafir, which means infidel, which is what Islamists call people who are fair game for being killed. The Islamist, the radical Islam that we have today, that we're dealing with today, is an imperialist vision. They want a world caliphate. and they believe that they should be able to rule. And anybody who is an infidel is, fair game. Their life does not count for anything. And it's his defiance. He's saying, come at me, come get me. I am exactly that thing that you fear and that you loathe and that you hate and that you want to kill. And I think, honestly, pretty cool, pretty sexy. I'm not above admitting that.
It is actually an awesome tattoo. I don't have any tattoos, but I reckon that would be on the short list if I were to get one. That is just a kick-ass message right there. It's saying to the extremists, I'm not ashamed, come get me. Yeah, it's no, I've got to say, and if it's upsetting all the right people, that just makes it even better. Now, but Tia, I'm still not sure whether this next story is an April Fool's joke or not. It was certainly released this information well before April 1 here in Australia, and that is that Kamala Harris, yes, the failed vice presidential candidate, is heading to Australia to a real estate conference. She's going to headline a real estate conference on the Gold Coast, where she's rumoured to be paid $500,000, not sure that that's US or Australian dollars, to deliver one of her infamous word salads. Can you believe this?
It's kind of a keyhole, like a window into how the elites operate, which is they confer upon each other credentials. And then for the honor of having those credentials, they pay each other a lot of money to list.
What is she going to say? Like, I bought a house. The house had 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. And you can imagine the aspirations and the dreams that I had when I bought this house. What is she going to say? Oh my gosh. I could imagine painting the wall red and that wall blue and that wall yellow. Because in the context, you have to paint the walls instead of it being white walls. I mean, like, seriously, what is she gonna say? I don't see, she doesn't have enough brain power to go into a real estate conference, and she has no real estate background. I mean, I don't even see how she became an attorney if she really was an attorney and doing all these things in California. I don't see it. I mean, and maybe that's just part of the allure of Kamala Harris. She's just such an enigma. We can't figure her out. She's dumb as a brick. So what is she going to go to a real estate conference and talk about? Are you serious? Oh my gosh. I just can't imagine it. I mean, I'm a real estate agent. I just can't see it. I just cannot see it. I don't see how she could bring any value to that other than she was the failed VP candidate. Like, what is she going to talk about? The water's blue. The sky's also blue. And we aspire to buy houses. I mean, the Gold Coast or whatever she called it in Australia. I don't know anything about Australia, but like, what the hell is she going to go over there and talk about? I can see that going over like a lead balloon. But anyway, let me just let her finish talking. I'm not going to watch the whole thing because I got some other stuff to do today. But yeah, I just don't understand what value can this dingbat bring to the table. Obviously nothing, but somebody's willing to pay her for this. Hold on.
Listen to what each other have to say. And that's the whole game, really, is you go to an elite university, you get these elite credentials,
oh my goodness,
you become part of the club. That credential was given to you by an equally godless, empty-headed, immoral, amoral character. And then as a result of having that credential, you can then, do things like run for office, even though you haven't been able to show any success, any accomplishments, and then you will simply fail up higher and higher and higher, at which point you will be able to ask for $500,000 for word salad. And that really is the whole game of it. And I think that it is infuriating, and it should be infuriating. It's funny, but it's also, there's something about it that is like really, really, really insulting to people who actually work really hard and whose jobs actually matter. I mean, Kamala Harris, it doesn't matter if she knows what she's talking about at the end of the day. That's what we learned from her entire career. But there are people out there who make a fraction of what she makes, whose jobs actually really matter. And if they mess things up, people die,
Yep.
you know, and what do they have to show for it?
This is going to be hilarious. If this actually happens, I'm still in disbelief about it. I really am. And who's going to be buying tickets for this? I mean, the real estate agents probably just want to be on the Gold Coast for the big party. It's normally a bit of a junket from what I understand. They're not there for the speeches, but headlining Kamala Harris, really? Now, before you go, I've got to ask you about Columbia University. New York Post reports that fresh from botching the response to the pro-Palestinian protest on campus and the Trump administration threatening to pull $400 million in federal grants. Well,
I will say I hope that we can all agree that a lot of these college universities are not teaching, they're indoctrinating. So where would these kids learn to do all this protesting and stuff like that? I mean, I mean, obviously, yes, if you're a poli-sci major, you probably learned the Constitution and the fact that you can, protest against your government and this, that, and the other. But what are these kids protesting against the school about? I mean, other than we don't want Jewish people there. Is that what the whole purpose of that was? I don't really get it, and I don't really care. I really don't, because it's just like I know what those schools are, and they are breeding grounds for just indoctrination camps to learn about Marxism, socialism, communism, all the isms that have nothing to do with like the real world. There's no practical application that has ever been successful. It's always caused death, famine, just the destruction of a society. If you look at all the different countries that have employed communism, maybe except for like China, but I'm sure they went through some problems. Most of them have failed miserably. I mean, Russia's gone through famines. People died, like millions of people died just because they were doing the collectivism where they were taking the food from the peasants and then putting that, I guess, into the, whatever you want to call it, almost like a treasury type thing, but for their food. And so I don't even know what they would call it, but other than collectivism, they take it from the poor farmers, and then they just try to say it's all for everybody. But those people were dying, and plenty of people died. Anyway, if you go through Russian history, it's horrible policies that cause death and destruction. Ultimately, whatever. Anyway, I just don't see how these schools can continue with all this liberal nonsense and these ideas that don't really help anybody. There's no practical application of it other than death, destruction, tearing up a school. These parents pay however much for these kids to go there, and then they live in an encampment. I mean, and then they have demands of the school. I mean, it's stupid. To me, it's stupid. I would be so pissed if I paid that kind of money and my kids were acting like this on campus. I mean, and I know it's because people get caught up in the moment and everything else, but I mean, you made poor decisions because you were targeting certain students. I mean, yeah, you deserve to lose that $400 million or whatever in grants or whatever it is, talking about the school itself, for allowing this crap on campus. I believe the First Amendment actually talks about basically the government, not schools. So I don't really see how that whole protest thing works and why it would have even been allowed on the campus. You're interrupting class and everything else. But I'll shut up. It doesn't make sense.
They may have fresh problems at Columbia with the once prestigious school having students not accept offers. This is according to a top admissions consultant.
Because this could happen again.
This is reputational damage that is hard to recover from, Batia.
Hey y'all, it's Kim. So at the end of my video, my computer shut down. So anyway, basically, you get the gist of lefties losing it every time. It's just crazy. The stuff that's going on with the liberals. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. I'll see y'all around. Bye. Hey y'all, it's Kim. So at the end of my video, my computer shut down. So anyway, basically you get the gist of lefties losing it every time. It's just crazy. The stuff that's going on with the liberals. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. I'll see y'all around. Bye.